presented by Prize Picks. Get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 using the promo code LightYears. Welcome to Light Years. We got a fun show today. It's me and Andy handling it for you guys. Couple reactions to the game, early weekend reaction to the game. We're gonna bounce around the NBA a little bit of a different show, I'd say. But right at the top here, I just want to say, keep everybody in LA in your thoughts. I have family in the Pasadena area, and parents had to evacuate, and I know probably 40 to 50 families who have lost their home over the past 72 hours. So it's been a really heavy week. If you can donate, if you can volunteer, I know a lot of you guys are in the Bay Area, but anything you guys can do to help out the people in Los Angeles right now, obviously the Palisades as well. So it's a really tough time down here, but we'll be back. But yeah, so I just want to say it at the top of the show, but let's get to some fun stuff now, huh? Couple interesting games from the past couple of days. Obviously, Warriors get a gritty win in Detroit, and then it's a skeleton squad tonight in Indiana, and it was a perceived loss coming in. They obviously wanted to win that first one and then rest Steph and Dre on the back end, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I think my number one takeaway from the last two games is Guy Santos. Like, I'm not even, I wish I was kidding, but I've always kind of liked his game. And I just think, and I think it speaks to where the roster's at a little bit, but I think he just does things at his size that not a lot of guys can do. He's big, he's physical, he can kind of move his feet, he rebounds well, he shoots the three. And I've been very impressed by his play, and I do think he's a guy who can actually help them. I don't know if he's a 20-minute a night guy, but 10 to 15 minutes just to like change up the look a little bit, especially if you're going to play Looney. He could probably play next to Draymond at the 5 because he can stretch the floor as well. So I've just been very impressed by the way he plays, and he plays with a lot of energy, which is what you would like from all of your young guys. But I feel like a lot of the young guys on this roster don't always display that. But Guy does. So what do you think about Guy? Am I out of my mind here, or is he actually helpful?
I'm with you, and I want to take even a step further, or maybe a step back. Is the archetype of Guy Santos, I think, is actually the problem with the Warriors the last few years, and it's showing the fact that you're gassing up. And this is not like making fun of you. Like, the fact that we're gassing up Guy Santos as this guy, it really speaks to how poorly constructed, or the vision of this roster, how that's been messed up the last few years. Because if you look at Guy Santos and what he does well, you just named it, all of it. 3 things, right? He's big, right? He's not small. He's big, right? 2, he plays really hard, really, really hard. Very important. And then number 3, he can hit a shot, right? He can shoot, or at least he's getting to the point where he can shoot. Like, he's making the shots. I don't know if he can shoot or not, but he's fucking making them. So
it looks nice coming out of his hand. It looks nice coming out of his hand. That's all I'll say.
So, and I'm not going to do the freaking thing where I'm going to tell you why Pods is not that, and Kuminga's not that, and honestly, Moody really is not that, and well, obviously Wiseman. So I'm not going to go down that hole. But I think when you talk about the way that the Warriors have always built a roster, they've always looked at guys like Guy Santos, and for some reason they veered away from trying to get guys like that, and this is where we're at. Right? The smile on Steve Kerr's face. I know we didn't do a show last night. I mean, you were thinking about it, but the smile on Steve Kerr's face last night, talking about Guy Santos. I mean, we know Steve, right? But like, you can just see, like, that's just the type of player. It reminds me a little bit of Alfonso McKinney. Alfonso McKinney was like a super fun role player, and I know like he got thrashed in the playoffs and
he's a lot better than Alfonso.
Yeah, but that, that type of player, that's something that the Warriors always like, really, really like, long, lanky, can make a shot, really high IQ. And like, it's funny to me that he got buried at the end of the roster, and you got a bunch of guys in front of him that, are playing, but they somehow don't give you the stuff that he gives you. And I just, it's funny to me, except it's like not funny at all, because that's the problem with this team. But I think the point's taken. It's like, Guy Santos looks great. Damn, Guy Santos looks great. like team's 40 games in, right? And that's where we're at. But I'm with you. I don't know how good he's gonna be. You might be higher on him than me, but he's fun.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to, like I said earlier, it speaks to the roster itself. But like tonight, +9, and he was the only guy who played major minutes who was a plus tonight. Shoot, scrolled in too far here for the people on YouTube. But yeah, he was the only guy who played major minutes who was a plus tonight. +9. Everybody else was a minus. And once again, I think it really just speaks to the inability of like the roster itself more so than necessarily Gee. But my feeling is like he just has a level of field that a lot of the guys who are playing currently don't. And it's not like he's not Andre Iguodala, but like he cuts at the right time. He knows where to space the floor. He tried that like through the legs pass to Steph the other night, and he didn't complete it. But it was like he sees the play before it happens. And like you said, those are the type of guys that they've always loved, and for whatever reason they veered away from. So I think it's really a bigger picture topic, right? But I've just been very impressed by what he does, and especially he's not going to go. He went 4 for 6 from 3 the other night, 2 for 2 tonight. That obviously won't continue. He's probably more realistically a 36 to 38% 3-point shooter. But even then, if you can shoot it like that at that size and you play that hard, and you're a smart passer, 3 steals tonight, like I just think he's a very useful player, and I would like to see him get more minutes moving forward. Because even if they don't make a trade, you're building towards something. So let's actually develop a guy who's only 21, 22 years old and can maybe in the future be helpful. But from here, we saw it again tonight. Can anybody on this team make a layup? Anybody? Is this what I'll say is this the worst finishing team you've ever seen in the NBA?
I saw a stat yesterday that said the Warriors have not only like the shortest team, but they also have like one of the oldest teams, and by far the shortest team. So that tells me it's like, well, so you're not only are you slow, you're old, and then we know that they're unathletic, and it just becomes pretty obvious. Like, yeah, it kind of makes sense why they can't finish. If you look at the team, your 2 most athletic guys are Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga. Actually, not great finishers, just super funny. And then you go down the line, it doesn't get better from there. And then tonight I saw TJD near the end of the game, and he like has an open layup, takes a dribble, looks like he's gonna pass, and then shoots it off the side of the backboard. I kind of can't blame him. Like, he's just an undersized guy, and he has like decent touch around the rim, but he's petrified down there like half the time. Like he's shooting against it. Like, it's not that he's getting blocked. This is the funny thing. He was open. Go up, go strong, and he's just scared because he's smaller. And so, for me, it's not a surprise. They are probably the worst. I think the numbers show that they are by far the worst finishing team
by far
in the league. I don't know if in history, but it's honestly like I compare it to this. It's like, I'm Chinese, obviously. So I played a lot of Asian League basketball growing up. And there's a difference between Asian League basketball is like when you start playing like, different, like, let's say, for example, like AAU. Back in the day, everybody plays AAU nowadays. But like back in the day, AAU is like a different level of competition, right? So it's just a way different level of athleticism. Warriors are essentially playing Asian League basketball. It's like, dude, you guys can't even touch the rim, bro. you guys can't even dunk the ball. What the fuck? What are we doing? Asian League basketball, they can shoot though. You know what I'm saying? At least they could drive and kick and shoot. Warriors can't do that. So it's like, so they got that, but it's like, so it's just, it's honestly, it's a little sad, and it's their fault. It's their fault. It goes back to the Guy Santos thing, right? It's their fault for putting together this type of roster. Like, what did you really expect? Like, I have a hard time blaming Steve Kerr or anyone. It's like, what did you really expect when, it's Buddy Hield trying to go to the rim, or like Pajemski, right? Like, I throw him out there, just anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be too mad at tonight. I think we knew what to expect coming into tonight. You already know Wiggins is out coming into this. Steve said it last night. Steph and Dre were questionable, and then they end up sitting them, which is probably the right call in the grand scheme of things. But I do think it's, even with the season kind of falling apart, for lack of a better term, I do think it's interesting how much they're resting these two. I don't know if it speaks to maybe thinking they're going to make a trade at the deadline, or thinking they're already packing it up for next year, which I think we'll talk about here in a little bit. But I think it's interesting how they're handling it, because I don't think they've ever been this flagrant about load managing these two. They've done it a little bit more as the years have gone on, but now they're like, they don't really care where the season's at. It's like, these guys are old. They need to rest.
I cannot blame him. I cannot blame them. They're right. Like, how can you be mad? Like it just, if Steph's gonna go out there and tweak some, he's out for a month. And I think Steve said that. Same with Draymond. It's now your season's really over. Now let's go get Cooper Flag type of thing. But But yet I can't blame them. And the funny thing is they actually look pretty good tonight. Like, that's the other thing. Maybe I should point that out. Like, they actually look pretty good. They look like a team out there. I think the Pacers are so bad. They're so
Oh,
bad. They're,
I'm with you.
defensively, they're awful. Offensively, they got a bunch of cool names, but like Mathurin is such a bad fit for this team. Anyway, we could go into that a little bit, but the Pacers are bad, and the Warriors played a really good game. They played really hard, and I think it's been that way the last couple of years, where when they go with the bench, it seems like they've got a clear identity of like, okay, we're gonna scrap, we're gonna do all these things, and we're gonna make some threes, and we're gonna go out there and try really hard. And then sometimes when you get some of the other guys back, it's like, our guy's gonna play hard, like you said, right? Our guy's gonna play hard. People are gonna care. Now we're gonna go 15 people deep. It's like, what's the identity, right? Somehow they have a better identity when they've got 8 guys versus when they have a full team, and that's a Steve Kerr thing. Now that I would say that's a Steve Kerr thing, 100%.
See, I don't know if I agree there, but I think this is actually perfect to jump into after we do a Prize Picks read.
And we are brought to you by Prize Picks. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the best place to get real money, sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Tommy, we got a 3-player? We got a 3-player.
Yeah, we did.
3-player.
We did a 3-player tonight. I did. So at halftime, I jumped in, and I was just kind of almost trying to like wish cast a Warriors win. I went Buddy more than 13.5 points, Schroeder more than 12.5, Halliburton less than 20.5. Buddy hit, Schroeder ended with 12, and obviously Halliburton went more. But I always use the flex play, which means if I just get 2, I think it's basically 1-to-1 odds. So just in case, I would have cashed out if Schroeder could have made another layup or something, or another free throw. So kind of sucked that he didn't, but it is what it is, man. Like, don't follow my picks, make your own. Like, you guys are probably all better at this than I am. But it's always fun to play, even if it's just, $5-10. That's the best thing about Prize Picks.
And even better off, like you said, with the flex play, you only need to get 2 out of 3, right? And you're good to go. Also, it's NFL playoff time starting tomorrow. I mean, they got the college semis literally going on right now. But tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, you've got NFL playoffs all 3 days. And, the Niners are out, but, your Rams are in. Your Rams are in on Monday night. So you'll be looking out for
playing
that.
in Arizona, though. Playing in Arizona. It's so weird.
You guys weren't going to win anyway. But if you won, I will. I'll be rooting against the Rams. I'll put some money down. Make sure we money where mouth is, right? So Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions, lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday every Tuesday. Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. So listen, download the app, use the code LightYears, get $50 off instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. LightYears, promo code LightYears. Prize Picks, run your game.
All right. So, like I said, we're talking about the depth a little bit and how Steve ends up going too deep into the bench, right? And I think that's actually a very interesting place to talk about one Tim Kawakami's article that dropped, I believe, this morning, essentially saying that, there is nothing the Warriors can do to save the season. It's over. We have to wait until the summer. I'm going to pull up his tweet here really quick. Tim said on Twitter this morning, they're not blowing it up. They're not winning a title. They're in the middle. And the worst thing the Warriors can do right now is give up assets for a return that wouldn't make a huge difference now and could eliminate their chances at a bigger move in the summer or later. Andy, have we seen this story before? Have we read that tweet before? Hey, TK's my guy. TK's my guy. So I don't want to come down too hard on TK, but I feel like we've seen this tweet before.
I think our listeners here and our listeners audio, the millions of listeners that we have, and know exactly what exactly is going to happen. They've seen this before year after year after year. I retweeted a ton of the responses to that tweet. Just go to that tweet, go to look at post interactions, and you've got everybody rightfully pointing out, hey, this is bullshit. This is complete bullshit. Obviously, Tim Kawakami is a vessel for the Warriors front office.
For sure.
Trying to sell us something. The first time that they sold it, hey, shame on you, right? Or shame on me, maybe. Whatever the saying is. This is the third time. This is year 3 of them telling us. And the worst part of it is really it's not really us I mean, it sucks for us, but it really is. It's Steph, right? It's him coming up on 37 years old. I think next month, if not this month, and he's
March.
fighting through March, and he's
Yep.
fighting through. You can see his hand is bandaged. You can see his knees; they have fluid there. I mean, he's gonna have to get that drained at some point. Probably be out a couple weeks, probably at the end of the year. And they're going and giving us the same bullshit, saying, "Hey, man, worst thing to be is in the middle." Guess what? You've been in the fucking middle for 3 straight seasons. Here's the thing. That tweet isn't wrong, and I think people aren't angry about the tweet in the statement in a vacuum right now. I think the anger stems from the fact that everybody saw in hindsight that it was incorrect. So now we're going back, right? It's one thing for you to tell us like the first time, okay, great. You know what I mean? You can't make a trade. You want to stay in the middle. But Tommy, like we sat here and we talked through why they should use that Chris Paul contract and trade for someone. We talked through you should have traded Kuminga for Pascal Siakam or OG Anunoby or somebody that can help you out, right? All these excuses has led to the point where now you also now are paralyzed, and that hasn't changed. And so I don't know. I'm rambling. Help me out, man. Like how ridiculous is this?
I think it's very poetic that Siakam kind of kicked their ass tonight. And Fitz was just gushing, that Siakam. I don't know what you do with that move. I don't know how you stop that. So he's just so skilled around that fadeaway. He's so good at this. It's like, yeah, you could have traded for him. And people always say, well, like, oh, he didn't want to resign. He didn't want to. Your job as an organization is to get people in the building and then sell them on why they should stay with you, right? If you're not a good enough organization to sell a star player on staying with you after trading him, that's a reflection of your organization. That's not a reflection of anything else. That's about you as an organization, right? And I think it was more about maybe not being willing to offer him max money because it was. Yeah. They wanted to get under the tax, right? And so we all know what it is. But I think, jumping back to kind of the depth topic, part of TK's point was, well, a 3-for-1, a 4-for-1, you don't want to gut your depth. We've seen them go 14, 15 deep over the weekend. He is playable. All the guys that are coming, Pat Spencer's even playable. Pat Spencer's actually one of the best finishers on the team, oddly enough. Like, seriously, he makes layups that like other guys on the team can't. So I think they would have enough depth, even if they did a 3-for-1 or a 4-for-1 for like a Jimmy, for example, or if they would have traded their depth for PG or Lowry, or whatever the name is, Siakam. But yeah, I think everybody's just frustrated, and it sounds like we are rambling on about the same topics over and over again. But when you're getting it back from the organization, that essentially, which is what TK is doing, he's feeding us, like you said, words from the organization. It does get frustrating because you're being, not to be like too trendy, but like you're being gaslit. You are being gaslit. You're getting told that you're crazy when the same thing keeps happening over and over and over again. So it's just it's tough to stomach this so many times in a row.
And the woe is me complex is pretty ridiculous. And I think we've heard from the organization many times, oh, we got to pay a Warriors tax. Oh, they don't want to deal with us. Buddies, you're not the first fucking team in the history of sports to be a great team. Yankees, Dodgers, Lakers, Warriors, name the fucking sport. Bulls. Kansas City Chiefs, Bulls. Like you are special because you have Steph Curry and you've won 4 titles. You're not that special. Like you like there are a lot of great sports teams out there. Teams are not gunning out to get you. Yeah, do they want an extra pick from you? Maybe they want an extra round of funding for a startup for one of their kids. Like, yeah, okay. That's what
Joe should be doing. Yeah. Offer extra rounds of funding. Come on, Joe.
Yeah,
figure it out. Get creative.
Really add up those shares. Really great time to go public right now. It's like what do we? It's nothing but excuses, man. It's nothing but excuses for an organization that is worth, what is it, $15 billion?
Last valuation was $9 billion, and obviously that's not all liquid. That's not all liquid, but still, like,
I think it's just it's being run like a small time organization is the point, and I think it's pretty embarrassing. And I think Steph is obviously telling us that they're pretty frustrated right now. They're gonna make a move. I think we'll get to it, Tommy. I think we'll get to it. But like they're gonna make a move. But but Tim wrote it. They're not gonna make the move, and I think we know they're gonna wait for. At this point, cat's out of the bag. I think they're going to wait for Kevin Durant. I think they think they're going to get Kevin Durant. I think they are. I think they're going to wait for it. They think they're going to get him. They think they're going to get him. And when Kevin Durant re-signs the contract, they're going to go, okay, we'll wait for the trade deadline next year.
Or we'll wait for Giannis. We'll wait for whoever. But I think just to jump back to tonight's game a little bit.
Yeah.
Miles Turner has been rumored for years to the Warriors, and I've kind of gone back and forth on how I feel about him. But you watch even just and Quentin Post is obviously a much different player, nowhere near as talented. So let's get that straight. But just a big guy who could pull defenders away from the basket. It got Buddy Hield the layup. It made Schroeder's pick and roll game way easier. So it just kind of like, not that Turner wasn't already on my mind already as a trade guy, but it got my mind kind of turning like, man, maybe just having a big man who's just such a threat. And not that I didn't think that already, but just seeing that Quentin Post could do it. Imagine having a guy like Miles Turner who can actually take a couple dribbles and get to a pull-up, or like can dunk over somebody, and he can shoot the three. But I've been lukewarm on Miles Turner at times, and I've been very into trading for him at times. So where do you sit on that? What are your thoughts on Miles Turner in general? Do you actually think he's a realistic trade guy? Or do you think they're more going to like land on Vooch eventually?
I think they're gonna get Vooch. I think there's they talked about Dennis Schroeder so much, and then they got him, and it feels like Vooch kind of the same thing where they're haggling over that pick. Comments are killing me. Yeah. Bring that one up from my guy. No cap, dude. Hair is giving me BTS. I love that. Miles Turner is a better player. I think Sam and I went over this. What do you think? Is Miles Turner a better player or Vooch a better player? Which one's a better player? In a vacuum.
I mean,
Vooch and then for the Warriors.
Vooch is better on O. I think that's pretty unquestionable. Vooch is way more skilled, in my opinion. Better passer, smoother feel, shoots it just as well, more skilled in the post. But he's just such a sieve as a defender. I think I would go with Turner just because Turner, when he's locked in, is an amazing rim protector. Like, he's the type of guy where you just don't go in the paint. Like, he's a true rim deterrent, right? So I think I'd side with Turner. I don't love either guy, but if you made me pick, it would be Turner.
I see I actually been really down for Vucevic, and I think it's partly because I think my Levine love fest really worked out. Who will Steve Kerr hate less? Man, I don't think he likes either player, honestly. Which is, again, it's the problem between you're a Dodgers fan, right?
Yes.
Take this little tangent. So you're living the dream. I'm a Giants fan. I live the dream. I don't live the dream currently. I'm living a nightmare. And one of the biggest issues the Giants have in the minor leagues is that they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea who they're drafting, and it doesn't work with their player development. It's totally like mishmashed, right? They draft guys that their development team doesn't know how to essentially develop, right? It's like, oh, these guys who can swing really hard and big exit velos, but like that's not the Giants' MO, right? So it's all mixed up. And the point here is that the Warriors front office, they trade for guys, and Steve Kerr doesn't like them. Or they don't trade for guys because Steve Kerr doesn't like them. And I think we're seeing that with Dennis Schroeder. I don't think Steve Kerr loves Dennis Schroeder, but they're like, hey, we need someone. We're just going to get him. Steve Kerr figure it out. I think same thing goes for Vucevic and maybe less so Miles Turner. I don't know if Steve Kerr's going to love Vooch. Not much. But I think that he provides them similar to like a Zach LaVine, where, man, sometimes, dude, forget that he's bad on offense or defense. You just got to get someone that can just score 20 points. Like, for this team right now, getting someone that can score 14 points is a fucking miracle. Vooch can put 20 points up in his sleep. Now, is it David Lee points? Some of it's David Lee points. Yeah, but like they need that. They need someone to do that for the first 36 minutes, 40 minutes of a game. I'm less concerned about the last 5 minutes of the game right now, although Detroit. But it's like, it's I think I'd rather have Vooch. I'd love to see what that looks like. It's just a very strong. He has an elite skill. He's really, really good offensively versus Miles Turner. Like, I don't know, man. It's like Wiggins, right? Are you gonna get this? Are you gonna get that?
Yeah.
If he locks
sometimes
in,
you just don't know he's out there. Yeah. Totally.
So
no, I mean, I mean, with the Kerr stuff, I think it's a classic case of too many cooks in the kitchen. This is what happens with organizations who have had as much success as the Warriors have had. I mean, it's kind of classic disease of more, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody wants to say, everybody wants an opinion because I had this hand in this success. Well, I did this. It becomes, it becomes like I'm not going to use the term that I was thinking of. I was measuring contest. Let's put it like that. Yeah. So yeah, so I mean that's essentially what it becomes, and you pass on some good options because it's not a perfect fit. It's not this. Oh, we don't want to give up this many picks, and you have all these competing and conflicting thoughts, and then you end up with inaction. And I think that's where we're stuck at right now. But honestly, let's move off of this and let's talk about Viia a little bit, huh? Where is Viia at? All right, 2025, a new you, a new year full of new possibilities. Don't let the bad times of 2024 bring you down this year. Reach new heights with Viia. Trusted by over 500,000 happy customers, Viia is the Swiss Army knife of wellness, dedicated to harnessing the natural benefits of hemp to create high-quality wellness products. Whether you're looking to improve your sleep, focus, recovery, add a little pep to your step, or just get high, Viia has something for you. With products ranging from 0 to 100 milligrams of THC, Viia gives you the power to blaze your own trail. So at this point in my life, not a big THC guy, but I have two favorites from Viia. The people watching on YouTube, I have the Flow State, if you can see that. It's CBD, and it's basically just like I have honestly, I think I have pretty bad ADHD, like undiagnosed. So, but I use the CBD to like calm me down a little bit, and it's more like focus driven. So I'll take one, like half of one during the workday, and it locks me in. I'm actually able to get stuff done. I'm able to stay on task. Very, very helpful for me. And then the Zen one right here for sleep, it knocks me right out, and I get some of the best sleep in my life when I take that. So if you're 21 plus, check out our link to Vive's, or check out the link to Vive's website in our description and use the code LIGHTYEARS for 15% off. And if you're new to Viia, you get a free gift of choice. That's code LIGHTYEARS to receive 15% off. And after you purchase, tell them you heard about them from us, support our show, tell them we sent you. This year, enhance your everyday with Viia.
Nice, well done, dude. You even got the props going. I mean,
Come on, man.
Dude. Professional.
Come on, man. Everybody was giving me crap about my ad reads at first, so I had to step my game up.
Fuck them. All right, Let Yours podcast were brought to you by our guy Body Spec. Shout out to Alal, my guy.
Alal.
The new year is here, and with it comes the perfect opportunity to build a strong foundation for your fitness journey. If you're ready to hit 2025 with a plan that's backed by real data, Body Spec is here to help. Starting strong means knowing where you stand. That's why a DEXA scan at Body Spec is the smartest way to kick off your New Year's resolution. What is a DEXA scan, you say? You get an accurate, detailed look at your body composition, lean muscle, fat, bone density, so you can set clear goals, track your progress. So right now, we've got the best deal you'll find online. Only $45 with the code LIGHTYEARS45. That's right, just $45 to get a complete science-backed snapshot of your health and fitness, all at a touch of a button. Per source, professional athletes also use Body Spec. Per source, maybe professional athletes that we root for. Pretty cool, pretty great. Everybody uses it. I mean, I've used it. I'm not going to share. Actually, I was 27% body fat. I'll share it. The rest of the stuff, yeah.
Man, that's that baby weight, pre-baby weight.
It's the alcohol is really what it is. So we're working on that. We're working on that. We're getting better at it. I'm probably gonna go back for one in a couple weeks here. I gotta get in the gym first. But here's what's also cool about Body Spec, right? You've got locations filling up in Bay Area, LA, Texas, and Seattle. They've got stuff that you don't even have to go into the office or their building. They've got stuff hanging around in the peninsula. You can go in there. You got stuff everywhere, right? So you don't have to drive 45 minutes to go get your Body Spec done. Book your DEXA scan today at bodyspec.com. Use code LIGHTYEARS45 and take the first step towards your best year yet. All right.
Let's do something a little bit broader on the NBA here. We're about at the halfway point of the season. I think Warriors record now is 19-19, so 38 games in, more or less at 41. What I kind of want to do is let's go through who our contenders are, who your title favorite is, and then this will make it kind of fun. What can the Warriors do, if anything, to get at least a contender, status, right?
Yeah.
So I'll let you go first. Let's do contenders first. Who are your contenders at this moment? Like true, like they can actually win the NBA championship. Not like We'll throw like a puncher's chance team, like one or two of them in there.
Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna pull up the standings. I've got like 4 teams, I believe. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 teams. Yeah, I've got 4 teams. So I got the Cavs, I've got the Celtics, I've got the Thunder, and the Denver Nuggets. So those are my 4 teams. I did not include the New York Knicks. I did not include the Bucks, but I reserve the right to, if you ask me a month from now, actually include them. But the Bucks, they scare me a little bit. Chris Middleton just doesn't look great. And then the Knicks, like, they have a great record, but I'm not sure. They could win a round or two. They could upset. Like, I could see them upsetting the Cavs. But as of right now, like, sorry, 5 teams. The Mavs. So 3 from the West, 2 from the East. Yeah, 3 from the West, 2 from the East. The East are the 2 best teams in the 2 best in the East right now, because everybody in the East is trash besides those 3 teams and the Knicks. And then the West, I've got the Thunder, obviously, and the Nuggets because they got the best player in the world. And then the Mavs, they're just hurt. They're just hurt, and they're gonna do what they did last season, and hopefully, knock on wood, they're healthy. Right? I'm obviously like, hey, they got to be healthy, but hopefully they get through all their injuries now, and they'll be healthy by the postseason. And I actually think the Mavs are coming out of the West, and I think the Cavs are coming out of the East.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's
so your finals right now is Mavs Cavs.
Mavs Cavs. How about those for ratings?
That's so nasty. Cavs after all the wars of the 2010s, you're gonna sit here on the Light Years podcast, and you're gonna pick the Cleveland Cavaliers to go to the NBA Finals. Are they winning the championship for you right now?
I yes, I do actually. I think they are.
Oh,
I think they are. Dude, I know you watch. I know you watch even more basketball than me. You watch them play. That is a fucking fun. That team really plays good. Like the 2015 Warriors. Like, they are a different personnel, but like Evan Mobley's got some Draymond in him defensively right now as that roving 4 next to Jared Allen, who can go up against the beefier guys, and then
Bogut
and Darius. I mean, it's man. I know. But there's no LeBron. Like, there's no, like, the hate was LeBron, right? It was always LeBron. But I know, but I might be rooting for the Cavs. They're that much fun to watch. I really don't like watching the Thunder. That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah. I can't stand the Thunder.
You can get away with it because they have our guy Kenny A. You know, God, I think. I mean, look, Bickerstaff. Maybe JB Bickerstaff is kind of the
Mark Jackson.
The Mark Jackson to Kenny Atkinson's. Yeah.
Not
that.
That might be problematic.
Let's clarify. JB, by all accounts, JB is like one of the best dudes in the NBA.
Yeah.
So we're not saying like that. You know, there was no leaks after JB left that he was washing players' feet with holy water. Let's just put it that way. No, but I think what Kenny has done there, it's very interesting. He's got them to play way more together. It was very my turn, your turn last year.
Yep.
He's got them to really space the floor, spread the floor, play incredibly fast, share the ball. I think Donovan Mitchell can be like a little bit of a prickly personality sometimes, like not a bad guy, but he can like definitely just go into like a little bit of Russell Westbrook mode where like he'll just say, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself. And he's not doing that at all this year. He's sharing the ball. He's playing off ball a ton. He's playing unselfishly, essentially. And then they have our guy, Warriors legend, Ty Jerome.
Okay, so
he's not going to be 6th man of the year because it's probably going to be Peyton Pritchard, who's just been unbelievable this year. But Ty Jerome's going to be probably a top 3, top 5 vote getter for 6th man of the year. I always loved him. I didn't understand. I did understand why he wasn't playing more because they were so small anyway.
Thank you.
He's not a small guard. He's like 6'5", but yeah,
it's the Pod's problem though. It's like, he's not small, but he's small. Like, he can't guard and he's slow. And yes, he's great with the Cavs because he has Jared Allen and Evan Mobley.
Bingo.
I would look great defensively with those guys behind me. So it's like, Pods would look great with those guys behind him. But if you put those guys on an island in a 3-guard lineup, he would be fucked. But anyway, again, it's just Ty Jerome's awesome. And by the way, he's totally a different player from Pods. Like, he actually looks to shoot the ball. So he just, that's Kenny's guy too, by the way. Like, that was his guy from Brooklyn who he brought to San Francisco, and now he's got him cooking in Cleveland. Listen, who's your team? Who's your top tier guys? Because Cleveland's winning it all, baby.
I definitely have like those I think like the clear cut best 3 teams in the league are obviously the teams with 3 best records, right? OKC, Cleveland, Boston, not necessarily in that order. Denver is funky to me because they're trying a version of the 2 timelines thing, right?
Yeah.
But they do have a little bit more runway than the Warriors did when they tried it because Steph was already 33, 34. Jokic is 28, maybe 29. So you can see the argument in both ways of either, hey, like he's in his prime, we should actually go all in right now, or hey, we have some more runway and we kind of have to develop through the draft. Denver's not a team that's going to spend massively into the tax for whatever reason. They're just not going to do it. So they're going to have to find young talent on the cheap, develop them, and then hope they're good enough. Christian Brown's been pretty good, but their bench does look light a lot of nights. Shockingly enough, Russell Westbrook has actually been amazing there. I did not see that coming at all. He's been on like 6 teams in 6 years, but he's been really good. Him and Jokic have like a nice little mind meld. They're both obviously incredible passers. And he's actually been very helpful for them. But I don't know if they can win 4 playoff series. I don't know if they're matchup proof enough. I think that's really what it comes down to. I don't know if they have enough guys who can guard. I don't think they have enough shooting. And I think it's really more that they don't have enough shooting around Jokic. They were already thin on it anyway. And then they traded away their second highest volume guy, or not traded away. They lost KCP in free agency, second highest volume 3-point shooting guy. And Brown's been making them, but it's still like, I don't know if I trust it. The one that I'm interested in that you said, and I actually have one more kind of dark horse team that I think is kind of fun.
Go with
but
the fucking Grizzlies. You're disgusting.
No, I'm not. As much as I love Ja, I was interested that you have Dallas coming out of the West because I don't see that. I don't think they're good enough defensively. I think honestly, love the guy, but I think Clay's going to play too much in the playoffs. And it's actually going to hurt them defensively. Maybe J Kidd has the balls to like not do that, and he goes with more defensively slanted lineups. But if you have Kyrie and Luka and Clay all on the floor a lot in the playoffs, I think the best teams in the league are going to slice and dice you.
It's not a bad. Yeah, you're right. That could happen. But I think here's my thing. They've got enough guys defensively. They've got PJ Washington. They've got Lively. They've got enough guys there defensively in a series. Najee Marshall's okay. He's solid. He's not Derek Jones, but he's solid. And I do think Clay, like, is Clay guarding Shai Gilgeous or is he guarding Lou Dort? Is he guarding Kason Wallace? Like, if he's guarding, like, because
that's kind of my point though.
But here's a sneaky thing about OKC: they're not good offensively. Like, they're not at least in those crunch time moments.
Sure.
And I do as much as I cannot stand Luka, as much as I can't stand him. I think he's the clear-cut second best guy in the Western Conference in the postseason.
He's different.
And so I think they've got the experience. They've got Luka on their side. They've got enough defense, and I might give Clay a little more credit than I know you and Sam probably do, to hang on the floor defensively because. I don't know. You got to really I got to see it from Jalen Williams. I got to see it. He struggled a little bit in some of these bigger. I got it. Like, you can't just be like, oh, Jalen Williams going to go for 28. Is he? Is he? Now, if Clay was guarding Donovan Mitchell, it's like, oh man, they're fun. Which is why I got the Cavs winning the whole thing. But I know I'm going on a stretch, but at the same time, it's like, man, Luka and Kyrie in the postseason on offense,
sure.
We saw it last year. Like, with Clay, maybe.
But I think you're hitting the nail on the head in terms of where Dallas is at. I think the matchup that would give them the most issues is OKC, right? Because like Denver's not really going to like slice them up from the perimeter. It's more of a size game, and they do have enough size to technically handle Jokic as much as anybody can. OKC has enough perimeter guys to like really give them issues, to give Dallas issues if they're not going to guard. And then also, and I don't think Memphis is a contender, but I think Memphis could. I mean, Ja would absolutely fry them. I think. I don't know if it would be enough to win the series. But if you're running those 3 guys out against Ja, he's going for 30 plus every game. And I think people have just forgotten how good Ja is because he's obviously just been so like in and out of the NBA as a whole, that if he gets in the playoffs again, look out. Like, that dude is not afraid of the moment at all. Like, he will go for 40 in a very, very important game.
Sneaky understory with John Morant is he actually should be the face of the NBA, and he fucked it up. Like, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this earlier this week. You know, every week it's like face of the NBA, and I'm kind of thinking like, damn, John Morant really fucked it up because he should be
him and Ant.
Yeah, and Josh better than him. And so it's like,
Ooh, you think John's better than him?
Ant's doing a lot of whining, man. I know I've always not been the biggest Ant guy, but
yeah,
geez, like it's a little bit. Look, he's awesome and blah 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 blah, but it's a little bit of loser mentality. It's, oh, can't focus on defense when I'm doubled or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, dude, I get it. Your team around you sucks. I know Julius Randle is
Yeah.
awful. I know, I get it, but it's like constantly whining in the media. It's like. I don't know, but hey, is John Moran any better? I don't know. But to your point, those two guys should be the faces. Like they should be. And
I mean, Ja before everything happened, before the incidents and the injuries and everything else, he was like number one in terms of social media impressions.
Yeah, 100%.
Like outside of like Steph and LeBron. Like Steph and LeBron don't count. That's a different. Yeah. But in terms of the young guys, it was like Ja and Zion. I mean, Zion's another guy, but he just can't stay out of the kitchen. So awesome. Like, yeah, Zion's unbelievable. Awesome. But yeah, and so yeah, Zion too. But, you know, I think the team that I see is like a dark horse, and this is out east now, the Orlando Magic. They have been, I know I don't think they can win a championship, but they have always given Boston problems. Always. They have the size and the strength and the athleticism to match up with Cleveland. And I think they can really hound those guards and give them issues. They are currently, I just lost it, of course, going back to the standings. The Magic are, okay, they're 22-18 now. I think they've lost a couple in a row, but that's without Franz and Paulo playing for like a month. Paul's been out for like a month and a half. Franz been out for about a month. Now, again, I don't think they can go super deep in the playoffs. Obviously, they've only been there one time. They probably need to take a couple lumps, but I think Paulo's incredible. Like to be able to do what he does at his size and his strength. He's 6'10", 250, and he handles the ball like a guard. If the shot ever develops a little bit, like he's not LeBron, but he has like he's not anywhere near as athletic as young LeBron, but he might be stronger. He's like one of the strongest dudes in the league. Now, LeBron now, nobody's stronger than LeBron now, but like 18, 19-year-old LeBron, 20-year-old LeBron, I think Paolo's just as strong, if not stronger. So I think Paolo's a future top 10 guy for sure. And that's like a prerequisite for winning a championship. So I don't think they're there yet, but I just want to kind of plant a flag on them so I can come back to this one day when they do win a championship in 4 to 5 years, and I can pull this clip and I can post it all over Twitter. So, okay, you have Cleveland winning it. I think I'd go Boston again, as much as it pains me, as much as I hate them. I just think you got to roll. I think they're kind of coasting through the regular season, if I'm being totally honest. They've done it. Now they've been there, and they're still, they've still only lost like 7 or 8 games or whatever they've lost. And I don't okay, they've lost 11 games now, I guess, but I don't love Tatum. I don't think he's really that guy, but I don't think anybody out east is necessarily beating them. It would only be Cleveland. That's the only team that I see. And then is OKC getting them? Maybe Denver. I don't know. I just think
OKC's not beating Boston in a series. That's not happening. It's the same team, and Boston's doing it better. You're right.
Right. And I just think at this point I roll with the team who's done it, because they showed it last year, and they brought back everybody, and it's not like they're aging out of anything. All their guys are in their prime besides Horford. That's the only guy. That's the only guy you would worry about in the playoffs.
The only pushback for me is they didn't need Kristaps Porzingis last season to win the championship. They're going to need Kristaps. They're going to need Kristaps Porzingis, and I don't know. It's Kristaps Porzingis. Is he even alive? I don't even know if he's. I mean, who's more injury prone, him or Chet? So it's we'll see. But that's the only thing I think. Let's get to the Warriors and how they can get there. Let's get to the Warriors, because I see a bunch of comments here about the one, and I think the big one for me. I'll go first because I said this on the last show jokingly, but I've really thought about it, and we got new news today about my guy, Zion Williamson, suspended because showed up late to practice or whatever. Obviously, he got suspended for something else. They're not telling us what it is my guess, is my conspiracy theory. I don't know what it is. It's Zion Williamson. Could be anything. Guy's always in trouble. But if the Warriors...
was it for messaging Joy Taylor?
That's insane. That's fucking insane. And I respect that. That's insane. I need that cut. Tim, I need you to post that first thing on Twitter tomorrow morning. I needed that. I needed that.
I got you.
If the Warriors want to get truly become a contender and truly take a swing and then actually come in and say, hey, we have a second timeline, it's actually Zion Williamson. Imagine the tickets they'll sell. I know that's what Joe's probably thinking about. But to me, that's your guy. Just a complete monster down low. Pause. But he would just be right at the rim every single play. Him pick and roll with Steph, inverted pick and roll with Steph. Oh my God. Okay, yes. The problem is, and everybody's going to come at me, is doesn't stay healthy, doesn't do this, doesn't do that. But
celebrating Magic, baby. Celebrating
exactly.
Magic.
You trade for him now when the stock is at the complete lowest. You tank on the season, which is exactly what they're going to do anyway. You come back next season, have Rick Celebrini work on him all regular season, all off season, and you have him ready to go for next year. And you have a completely healthy Zion Williamson locked in right next to Steph Curry and Draymond. Dude, he might average 35 points. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm sold. I tried to sell you guys on Levine last offseason. I don't even like Levine.
I was all in on Levine. I was all in. I've always loved Zach.
I'm in on Zion. What do you think?
You know what's funny? This has actually been a big topic of discussion in the Light Years Discord. We've all in the last 4 days, it's been Zion talk.
All in.
I'm all in on it.
I haven't seen it. I'm stealing all your takes. Don't think I haven't done it.
The thing is, I don't think Zion gets them to contender status this year. I just don't think there's enough on the roster. But you would have to get pretty creative with your lineups, right? Because Zion and Draymond both can't shoot. So you're going to need a 5-man who can, right? Essentially, or you just get a huge four. Maybe it's Guy Santos. I don't know. But I would just worry about defensive viability in the playoffs because I think Zion can be a great defender. We saw it at Duke. We did. It was there, but he's just been out of shape and he just doesn't care. But I will say, this last time he came back, he looks like he's in the best shape that he's been in years.
And he pulled a hammy and then got suspended. I'm with you. It's ridiculous.
But he threw down an insane 360 window.
I know.
It was bananas. It looked like Duke Zion. I've always loved Zion. So I'm all in on that. If I had to, if I wanted to go a different direction on this, I honestly, I don't even know what it would be. I mean, I guess I just say trade for Jimmy and F it and see if you can figure it out. But I mean, if you're trying to become a contender, go get KD, go get LeBron, wait for those guys. That's the only, if it's one move, that's the only way you do it. There's other ways to and that's what they're, I know that's what they're doing. Hey, you're welcome. No, I would try to ladder a couple moves if I could. You got to get Zion. And I think if you could somehow get Zion and Miles Turner, I don't know how you do that, but that would be ideal, right? I think that's workable. Or maybe Zion and Vooch, but that's $56 million. So now I don't even know how you get there at that point. And this was the issue with letting the CP3 contract go for nothing.
Yes.
You should have at least got 15 because they could have split it. They could have traded for a $15 million guy and the other team just has to take all 30 million back. Not having another contract to trade is really hurting them right now. Because now, you essentially have to give up Wiggins. And now you got to figure out defense. And maybe you can find defense on the cheap. So maybe it takes Wiggins and a couple other guys. You get Zion and Vooch and you see if you can go win a title. But I don't know if you can defend well enough with that lineup. So, but F it. Give me Zion. Let's go all in on Zion. Let's hope the Pelicans continue to tank. I don't see how they don't. It's Zion season, baby. It's Zion season.
Because if you go back to Tim's tweet, it goes back to, hey, the worst place to be is in the middle. And people don't care about the Warriors right now. It's the sad truth is nobody's going out there and saying, hey, we want to go to the Chase Center and we want to go watch the Warriors. Are there people there? Yeah. But they're not. It's not. Honestly, sadly, it's like the Giants. People aren't going to watch them. And so, you know who people are going to watch, man?
Zion Williamson.
At the very least. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
Even if they don't win a championship, that's someone that they're going to watch. I don't think you can say the same thing about, Jimmy Butler, sure. But it's I don't know. He's got sky high upside. He's on the right side in terms of age. You go polish up the other stuff. There's a lot of other stuff. But you go, like you said, I think you mentioned it earlier. It's you go trust in your infrastructure. Mm-hmm. Pascal Siakam, I would have taken the swing because I would have been able to convince him and say, dude, you're playing Steph. You're playing next to Clay. You're
Let him
playing
hang
like
around
these guys
Steph
have won 4
for a
titles.
couple years. Yeah, let him hang around Steph for a couple months. You're gonna say no to like Steph's just the best dude in the world. Like you're gonna say no to that. I think
Now
we
he's
got a
living in
really
Indiana.
yeah, exactly. I think we got a really interesting comment in here. Wiggs and Dre are 56 million. Would you include Draymond if it's like
No.
Zion?
Yeah,
Like if you're gonna get Zion and Miles Turner, do you include
Yeah.
Draymond?
Well, yes. In that
You
case,
do.
that's a perfect.
So
perfect fit.
so you go Wiggins and Dre. Like I'd have to be a 3 or 4 team deal. I don't know how you work it out.
Yeah.
But Wiggins and Dre for Zion and Miles Turner, you would do that.
Yeah, in that case, yes, without a doubt. Now, will Steph
Okay.
do that? I don't. Maybe not.
Right.
But the thing is, like, people get all mad. I said this yesterday. Tweeted this out yesterday. I was like, oh, I would trade everyone and everything except for Steph and Draymond. Everyone's like, well, Draymond's the problem. It's like, yeah, okay. I'm just telling you, he's still awesome defensively, and that's still Steph's boy. Like, and he's not just here because he's Steph's boy. Like, that's not like this isn't for the Nassus. And I think people. I don't know. I don't think we need to explain it to our listeners that that Draymond is extremely valuable defensively still. This team is a joke defensively without him. Like they tried to start this Draymond off the bench lineup. People always like, oh, Kuminga's gonna take it. The guy can't fucking defend, dude. None of these guys can defend.
Yeah.
Without Draymond fucking holding their
It's a house of cards. It's a house of cards. Anyway, man, I think we've gone long enough tonight.
Zion.
It's a Friday night. Everybody have a safe weekend. Like I said at the top, if you can, donate to the people in the LA fires, volunteer, do whatever you can. That's obviously something that's near and dear to my heart. Really tough time down here, but we thank everybody for being here tonight, and we will see you guys next time.